it is 3 pi squared. Okay?
You can talk. I need your voice. It's your microphone.
This is my microphone. Microphone where?
So they can hear you.
On there?
Yeah, on iPad.
Is this one also going to be like plus and minus? Or
No, it's just the 2 pi over 2.
Okay.
It's only plus and minus when you divide it by the radical.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you get it, it was pi over 4. And then the other one is 3 pi over 4. But you still have the 2x, so you have to equal it to the 2x. And you do divide it over to get the x by itself.
I got a question.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I was done.
Yes. Yes. Kevin?
Yes.
You said a question?
Your mind question. Wait, is that your mind? Hey, twin, which one are you?
Just get a pump.
What was your question? Oh, wait, I can't see it. You get it? Because you still have to divide it by the 2x.
Okay, so I know what you did. You put square root of 2, and you divide it, and then divide 1 by that. Okay, so then what was the next one?
I'm trying to focus it. I don't know how to focus. Oh. Say that again?
Okay, so I know what you did for the first step, right?
Okay,
Then
yeah.
how did you do the square root of 2, square root of 2?
Yeah, because you have to divide it to get the sine 2x by itself.
Oh, so you divide sine?
No, you divide the square root of 2.
Because you're trying to get sine.
You're trying to get the sine 2x by itself. I'm trying to gotta make sure my fellow peers are. Okay, so now you have to get the x by itself, so you will divide it by 2. Right, Andy? Divide it by 2. To get the x by itself, you divide it by 2? Yeah. Okay, so...
Here, let me teach you. Put pi divided by 4.
I already did that.
And put a slash under it. And no, so like, yeah. 2 over 1.
I have a question. And if you could just put it in the calculator.
But you want to 2x.
Just multiply it.
You just multiply the
Pi over 8 equals 3 pi over 8.
There. So then they don't have
How do you get that?
Divide the pi over 4 divided by 2 over 1. Because you have to divide the 2 to get x by itself.
Sine 2x equals 2.
you look at the screen and you'll see that.
You get it? Okay, do you want me to put in the calculator? When
Is 30
over 4
45 degrees.
divided by 2 over 4 equals 1 over 8.
So is that the answer? 5.
8.
I
Over.
don't think it's 5.
So this is what you would do when you put it in the calculator. You would put 1 over 4 divided by 2 over 1, and you will get 1 over 8, which is equal to pi over 8.
Yeah, you got a positive pi over square root of 2 over 2. That's positive.
Everybody get it? Any questions?
Yes.
Got it, Kevin?
My question.
You have a question?
When are you going to get to question 3?
Huh?
When are you going to go to question 3?
Right now? You good?
So what did you divide?
Huh?
Sometimes you go on. I'll make it.
You'll make it. Okay, number 3. is 3 cot squared x minus 1 equals 0. So you have to add 1 to each side, which is 3 cot x equals 1. And then you will divide it by 3, so 3 cotangent squared x equals 1 over 3. And then you will have to square root it to get the cotangent x by itself. So it would be cotangent x. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's hard for me. Okay. I'm on the mic. Okay. Cotangent x equals square root of 1 over the square root of 3. And then when you look at it, you can't. Yeah, you have to do the reciprocal. So you will multiply by square root of what? Oh yeah, because it's cotangent. You have to do the reciprocal to get tangent x. So you would just flip it around, and it'll be square root of 3 over square root of 1. And then
Top and bottom by 2. Divide the top and the bottom by 2.
okay, now we have to divide the top and bottom by 2
Because the bottom has to be 2.
because the bottom has to be 2 because there's not a 1 on the unit circle,
Well,
right?
you want to make it look like the unit circle. The unit circle is square root of 3 over 2 and 1 over 2.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I don't know how to do that. So
You don't need to just write it.
I don't know how to write
Just
it.
write it square root of 3 over 2.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Square root of 3 over 2 over square root of 1 over 2.
Since you're going backwards with that square root, you're going to be plus or minus.
So plus or minus this, and then plus or minus this.
No, just one of them.
Oh.
One of them is square root.
You can split to the side.
Okay. So the square root of 3 and the square root of 1, you're dividing it by 2 because that's how it's done.
Yeah, on the unit circle. Okay, then you go to the unit circle.
Remember the unit circle. X is going to be the 1/2.
The x is gonna be 1/2.
Y is going to be the square root of 3.
Okay. Yep. Right? Yeah.
Hey,
Are you dividing by 2 again?
Because you wanted to make it look like the unit circle, and you don't have a 1 in the denominator nowhere in the unit circle, so you divide it by 2 to make it the denominator a 2.
She asked why to divide it by 1.
Like why you have 1/2 at the bottom.
Yeah, why you do
Yeah, 1/2 because.
Okay. The answer she got was square root of 3. But you want all your ratios to be fractions. So you divide by 1. You didn't change anything. But now you want to make that ratio look like the unit circle. And everything on the unit circle is divided by 2. So you divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. Since you're dividing by the same number, the value doesn't change.
So this is y
Now it's
over
easy to match
x.
up.
So the y has to be positive or negative 3 over 2, and the x is square root of 1 over 2 on the unit circle. When you go to the unit circle, let me erase this. One of the solution is pi over 3. Another solution is 2 pi over, no.
Yeah, that'll be one of them.
There it is?
Yeah, the 1/2 could also be negative.
Okay, 2 pi. I thought you said only 1.
Well, yeah, but you get a negative number whether the numerator is negative or the denominator.
Oh, okay. So yes, pi over 3, 2 pi over 3.
4 pi over 3.
Yeah, 4 pi over 3.
5 pi over 3?
Yeah.
Can it also be,
And 5 pi over 3. Yeah. So we have 4 solutions for this problem.
can it be negative 5 over 6?
No, because the 1/2 is the x. So our solutions are pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3. I write so big. Anyways. Everybody get this? Any questions?
Wait. Go with your guess.
Just for that one, I'm trying to
See the 3 is divided over 2, and this is that.
Good?
Can you show number 2 again?
Number 2?
Divided into the top by 3 turns
I'm going to... Okay, now what was your question? What was your question?
Oh, I think you copied it down.
Oh.
If you do number 4.
Good? Okay. I'm up in there. Which one? Oh, I think we are finna do all of them, but not me. And he gonna do it. Okay, now number 4 is cosine cube x equals cosine of x. Now, since you can't divide by a trig ratio, just move everything over to the side and equal it to 0.
Is it plus or minus on the second one too?
Yes. I don't know if I can make it over there.
Everybody get that? So we're gonna do
Did you ask your teacher?
cosine of 3 cube x minus cosine of x equals 0. Everybody get that? You get that? Alrighty. Now we have to factor it to get a cosine by itself. So it'll be cosine of x, open parentheses, cosine squared x minus 1 equals 0.
I have a question. Why is it x minus? Why is it x minus?
Oh, it's like, because up here it has cosine of x, so if you just factor it to minus 1, it's just like cosine of x still. It's like still negative cosine x.
It's because of that negative sign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why did you put the cosine on the left side?
I put the cosine on the left side because you can't divide by a trig ratio. So when you do that, you have to move it to one side and just equal it to 0. Got it? Okay. So since it's like this, we're going to have 2 cases. Okay. So cosine of x equals 0. And then cosine squared x minus 1 equals 0. And then move the 1 to the other side. So it's cosine squared x equals 1. And then to get the cube out, not the cube, the square out the way, just, what is it called? What is it called? What is that called? Square root it. So you'll get x, cosine of x equals 1. And it's plus or minus 1 since you square root it.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
So now when you go to the unit circle, the cosine, which is x, can be plus or minus 1, or it can be 0. So your answers would be 0, 2 pi over 2, pi, and 3 pi over 2. Yeah. don't know how to do it. Any questions? Well, let me just straighten this out. Any questions? Everybody get that? What I did there? Alrighty. Ooh. Okay. Absolutely. Oh, he did ask for it. I need to take a picture first. Okay. Everybody got this?
Yes.
Everybody got it? Yes. Okay. Now we're on to number 5, which is, I'm gonna write smaller. Sine x minus 2 sine x cosine x equals 0. Yep.
So you factor out the sine x.
Factor out the sine x? Okay. So we're going to factor out the sine x. Okay. So it'll be sine x, open parentheses, 1 minus 2 cosine x equals 0. And then we'll have two cases. So sine x will equal 0. And then 1 minus 2 cosine x equals 0 too. And then you move the 1 to the other side, so it'll be negative 2 cosine x equals 1. And divided by negative 2, so it's cosine x equals 1 over 2. So on the unit circle, the y is 0 and the cosine is 1/2.
That's very good.
Okay. I thought I was wrong. Okay. So we go to the unit circle.
Would you be close to missing?
Yeah, I'm going to put the solutions up. They won't be on YouTube. Supposed to what on YouTube?
Like the video.
The video.
If you guys don't mind having your faces or the back of your heads up.
Okay.
Is it still recording?
Because I have to go.
Okay. So the y is 0 and y is 0 is at 0 and it's at pi. So for sine equals 0 is at 0 and pi. And when the cosine of x is 1/2, so that's when that is when x is 1/2. So that's at pi over 3. And this is just positive 1 over 3. It can't be a negative 1/2 either. So just when 1/2 is positive. So you'll go all the way around to find where the x is positive 1/2. So it's 5 pi over 3 as well.
Okay. Trust yourself.
What step are you on?
Yeah. Yeah. Did everybody get that? Any questions?
You finished?
Yeah. Hi, Andy. Any questions? I'll freeze it.
Cause I don't really get it. Like, I have 15, 17, number 9. So you also want to do this? I understand, but it's just. I don't mind the lots of time. But I don't want the answers. You want to learn. I want to know how to do it. We could try solving it together. I have to learn. Okay, let's do numbers. Yeah, I don't know how to keep.
I know that part. I'm just
I like tacos. Some people like have yogurt.
Because I think
You know, I'm not
this,
having
pero
it was just us two.
because they don't
And Annie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, some of them eat so that it can look easier to like solve each substitute with a letter L. Yeah.
Alrighty. Everybody ready? We're going to do.
Excuse me, beautiful. I need this sheet.
No, you don't need this.
Not this one. This one.
This one?
Alright. It's everything, but I'm not gonna bite you.
I mean, he did actually.
You can rub them on.
Okay, number 6 is 2 sine squared x minus sine x minus 3 equals 0. So just like the last one, we'll have to factor it. So it would be 2 sine. We have to unfactor it because it's already factored in the equation, so we have to unfactor it. So it'll be 2 sine x minus 3 sine x plus 1 equals 0. And we're going to have two cases again. So it'll be 2 sine x minus 3 equals 0. And then sine x. I'll write 2. It'll be sine x equals sine x plus 1 equals 0. Just like simple algebra. So it'll be 2 sine x equals 3. And then you have divided by 2, so it's sine x equals 3 over 2. And on this side is just sine x equals negative 1. Thank you. Okay, so when we go to the unit circle, the y has to be, the y has to be negative 1. The y has to be negative 1. The sign is negative 1. You might have to. What do we do when it's like that?
You gotta check your domain. What's the largest number the sign can be?
The largest number the sign could be is 2 pi.
The actual number.
Oh.
Why that?
1.
So if this is bigger than 1, it's not in the domain, so
Oh.
you can't use that. There's no solution on that side.
So it's not.
So
it's not
this-
high, but it's on the top. It's on the top.
3 over 2 is not. It's on the pie.
It's
There's no solution.
the square root of 3 over 2.
I thought it was
So no solution.
Evidently,
So on this side is no.
Here?
-1.
This over here? Well, when you factored it out, you got this. Subtract 1 from each side, and sine of x equals negative. This side is good. That's great over there. You don't have a problem here because this is bigger than 1.
It's just I did it the way that you told us. I don't know. It's different.
I hope I didn't tell you.
So when-
the side for 3 halves.
So when sine is 1, sine is 1 is only at, when y is at -1, it's only on 1, which is right here at pi, 3 pi over 2. So that's the only solution that we have for this one, which is 3 pi over 2. Yes, a -1.
So, let me read this one.
True.
Oh, that's
Everybody got it?
no.
Any questions?
Let me think. So, pi over 2 is not a solution?
3? Wait, which one?
Oh, wait.
This is the only solution that we have for this problem.
For that one. How do you know? Because I don't
How do you know when it's no solution?
well, yeah, that's it.
Because since it's y on the unit circle, there's no domain or range that's over 1. So 3 over 2 is greater than 1. So it's no solution because it's greater than 1.
It's not on the circle.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
The highest it can go for sine is 1. You're walking all in the video. Straight edge? I think I have a protractor in my bag. It's at the bottom. Should be blue. Don't break it. Okay, ready? Number 6. What is it? Cosecant?
Cosecant is 1 over the sine.
Yes, this is cosecant. Okay. Just like the last one, we'll have to defactor it. So it will be secant x minus 2. It'll be secant x plus 1, and it will equal to 0. And we have two cases again. So it'll be secant x minus 2 equals 0. And it'll be secant cosecant x plus 1 equals 0. And then just algebraic equation now. So it equals 2. -1. So now, since it is the cosecant, that means we have to do the reciprocal.
Yes.
So it is, I think it's cosine. I think it's, oh, I have to wear it. Oh. Okay, no. Okay, the cosecant is for sine, so since we have to do sine now it's sine x over 1. So now it would be 1/2. And it's sine x, which is still 1. Or negative 1. Negative 1. I think it's 1 divided by negative 1. Negative 1? Okay, that's one. So when we go to the unit circle, and sine is y, so we look for when sine y is 1/2, or when sine is 1, negative 1. So sine is 1/2 at
11 pi 6 over 6.
it has to be positive. So it's pi over 6. Five pi over 6. And that's the only two. And then when sine is negative 1, it's at 3 pi over 2. So we have 3 solutions for this one. Any questions? Everybody got it? Yes, no, maybe. Alrighty. Number 8. Cosine squared x equal 1 minus sine x. So like the other one, you can't divide it by sine, so just move everything on this side to the left side. So it's cosine x minus 1 plus sine x equals 0. And then no, I'm not sure. So we're gonna use go to the cheat sheet, and we're gonna use this equation for it. We're going to use this equation. So now it becomes 3 sine squared. 1 minus sine squared x plus sine x equals 0. Oh yeah. Minus 1 equals 0. And now they just cancel out. The ones cancel out. Yeah, the ones cancel out. So now it'll be negative sine squared x plus sine x equals 0. And now you'll factor it. So sine x will be on the outside. And then inside is sine x plus 1 equals 0. Big monkey X. Where? Inside the parentheses? Because this sign is a positive. It's a positive sign. This sign is a negative sign, and this sign is a positive sign. Okay? And now we have two cases again. So it's sine x equals 0. And then the negative sine x plus 1 equals 0. And now you have negative sine x equals negative 1 divided by negative. So negative times a negative divided by negative is now it's a positive. So sine x plus 1 and sine x equals 0. So when you go to the unit circle, once again, you look for py's, that's 0 and 1, which is 0, pi, and pi over 2. And those are your solutions for that one. I'm sorry. He ain't got brackets on his keys, so it don't matter. I don't know how to draw the brackets. I don't know how to draw brackets. It's okay. Any questions? No?
Sine is y, right?
Yes, sine is y, cosine is x, tangent is y over x.
Right, so when you take
When
not the unit circle,
when we went to this paper, since it's like this, he was like you can use the Pythagorean identities. Right here. Pythagorean identities. And use the first one. And yeah. Any questions?
Okay, so you know how sine is y? And it says sine is x. What is it really asking? Because it has an x on there, but it's sine is y.
Oh, it's just like a placeholder. It doesn't really mean anything unless it's like a 2 in front of it. Like unless it has a coefficient in front of it, then you have to divide it by the coefficient. But if it doesn't have a coefficient, it's just like a placeholder. So you just worry about the ones right here.
So we're just looking for the y.
Yeah. But if it has a coefficient, then you will have to do like problem. I don't remember what the problem was. They took my paper. Like when it was 2, number 2, and it had the coefficient right here, and we had to divide it by the coefficient to get x by itself, and that's why we got these. So when it's x by itself, it's good. You just have to worry about this. But if it has a coefficient, at the end you have to divide it by the coefficient. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to teach the class? Want to teach the class tomorrow? I have to do the senior night.
Oh, you have to check out. Anybody want to replace this uniform?
Krista, you got it, Tori. I'm taking this extra sheet though. Okay, I'm just gonna take pictures of it. I'm gonna take pictures of it. It's really step by step.
Take a picture.
I know, just.